He's a genius. Right, got this 2010 Ducato in. He's booked in for a horn fault. That's all he's told us. Got a horn fault. Can you look at it for us? Yep, no problem. So, sounds like this morning. Oh, by the way, get a bit of a smell from something around here. When the lights are on for hours and hours at night, get a smell from there. So, so what do you want me to do? Drive it at night? You know, I can't be doing that. So, no. I bought a new set of stalks for you. Can you just fit them on? That's okay. Yep. So, yeah, genuine set of stalks there. Can you fit them in there? I said, yeah, no problem. He said, that'll probably fix the horn. And if it don't, it'll be the airbag, won't it? I bought one of them. So I don't know, you know, we need to do some testing on it. Well, it's all it can be. It's only 2 bits, isn't it? So, you know, you got that, you got wiring down to the relay, you got the relay, you got in and out the relay, control in, control out, voltage in, voltage out, horn, earths, you know, there's loads of bits it can be. Body control, I don't know if it does go to body control to convert, you know, I don't know. But so he wants me to fit these stalks anyway. So let's get this bit stripped out, get the steering wheel off, get the stalks fitted, see what he's doing. But before we put any of the cowlings back on, let's make sure everything's working. If it's not, it'll be a bit easier to test anyway. So yeah, let's get into it. So as suspected, stripped all this off, all the cowlings off, all the steering wheel off, and still faulty. So now the problem is I'm an hour down the line where I should have been if I'd have started testing it. So what I should have said was, no, we're not doing your stalks, we'll test it. If we find out it's the stalks, we'll fit them at the same time. But we've gone against our rules. We've fitted these first because the customer go, oh well, can you fit them anyway? I don't know, who knows. It's going against my own rules, always goes wrong. So let's now start investigation on it, as we should have done an hour ago, and then we'll take from there. So we've gone to the relay. In the relay's good, out the relay's good. I'll show you that on the diagram. Right, so now we know this is going to be a bit of a strip out because it's going to be a fault between one bit and another. So let's get this in its own bay so we can actually get it stripped out where it's not going to be in the way, and I'll show you what we've got going on. Right, so we've got this camper van back in. We stripped the headlight out, stripped the fuse box down. So we know this relay, don't know if you know how a relay works. I can't even find the relay. Right, relay. This is a control relay for the horn. Got main live in, and then the switch live goes out down to the horn. That's all working. Bypass that. The main live that comes in here also lives up the coil of the relay. So the control to the relay, the low voltage control, is literally controlled by an earth. So we're losing that earth from the back there. So to work out, you can look on diagrams. We've got all the diagrams and it says it goes from this pin to that pin, but you're never 100%. So to confirm it, what we've done, take the plug out. Put a probe into the one you know is dead. So it is the right hand one of the control side of it. So you go along your pins in here until you find the right one. So it's second one up on that row of pins there, which is in here, which is this pin here. We beeped it through. It doesn't beep through. Done a continuity test. It doesn't beep through to there at all. So I've opened it up. It's actually this second pin up here, brown and green. That does confirm with the diagram. Too many people go by the diagram and they change it year on year, and you've just put in the car details wrong and you'll chase a fault which ain't there. So before we go stripping the loom out, we've confirmed exactly what the bit I know is not working, how it comes out the fuse box, which wire it goes into, and where it's heading. So now we're going to strip this loom out a little bit, so we know the fault's between there and in there. This part of the loom here is known for corroding. So let's get into a point on there, cut into it, get a little test done on it, and then we'll see what's going on there, and then we'll be able to confirm whether it's this end or that end. So let's get that stripped out. We'll have a look. So we've got brown and yellow wire. All right, so now we're in a bit of trouble. So the wire comes out of here, drops down up this loom comes up to here. So way we use the probes to confirm it's the right, well, confirm it's the right one, what we do, we just cut into it with a blade, tiniest little nick, bit of pressure on it. It's got voltage there, which is, it's confirmed we're on the right wire. Pull the relay out, the voltage should drop, so we know we're on the right one. Earth it, all okay. So that means the fault is between this part and inside. That wiring goes everywhere. So this is the wire. So where we just put a little nick in it with a blade, we flip it over, so we make a little notch in it, so we know where we've done it. Make sure we redo that, put a tiny little bit of nail varnish on it, that seals it up. So if it ever becomes a bit of a pain, we can cut it, heat shrink it, it'll be all be okay. But it's a quick, easy test to do. But this wire now goes up here and right the way along under this panel and into the car somewhere. Not really sure where, but yeah, the nice, quick, easy bit I thought it was going to be down in this part where even while I was pulling it apart, there's a bit of water in there. So I thought it was going to be there. It's not. It's down that end. Just been down the other end again. Put earth to down to the switch. No good. So either that's got a multi-plug in it, or it's corroded along there, which these do. In fact, look at this. So these are known for water getting into these scuttle panels, dropping down here. On some of them, they had a throttle body which it gets into. But this one, it's all been silicon doublet. So I wonder if he's had some problems in the past. So we're going to pull this out and pull this bit out, get to that wire, find out where it goes. So we've tested there, we've tested there. Let's get another test part there. There's no point in going that end and coming this way, or that one come that way. Let's chop in the middle, find out what's going on, see which end we're going, and then carry on from there. Unfortunately, it's probably going to the morning now. So yeah, unfortunately we've got like 2 or 3 left over now from today, and we've still got tomorrow's work going on. So right, let's get it done. Right, so let's just show you what we find. Well, we haven't really found anything, but the wiring comes from here. It goes up behind the clocks and then down. We pulled this off to see if we can see anything. We've got loads of aftermarket wiring in there. Tucked behind there is some sort of aftermarket control module. Can't really see it. So what we're going to do, we're going to strip the top of the dash off, take the speedo out, get any of them panels off what we can, and see where that wire goes to. Hopefully see it's been nicked or something like that. So let's get it stripped out and answer this phone. Right, so we've taken all this dash panel out. This wire here, it comes to this wire, goes all the way along the back there. Can't actually see a lot through there, but what I can see, I don't know if you can get a shot of it. Down there, that aftermarket wiring has actually been cut into the main loom. I can't see how or where, but all good to see. So the problem is with it, this dash is one complete dash. You can't take parts of it out, but it looks like they would have fitted it by taking this fuse box out. But these fuse boxes are held in with security bolts, these ones here, so you can't actually undo them. They would have been undone with a pair of mold whips or something, and they put them back in. You know, normally you just put one back in at the most and put a bolt on it or something, but I don't know. So now we've got to try and get them out to get that fuse box down to find out what's going on behind there. You know, I'm pretty sure we're getting close to it, but yeah, not fun. Yeah, it's just one wire. How hard can it be? This wiring up here, that's the wire that comes from outside the car all the way along, and it disappears down that way. we thought that this wire, what comes from the horn, comes down here and back, but it actually doesn't. It splits and goes back down that way. So we've tested it there and the horn's working, or we've tested it there and the switch is working, and it disappears down that way. And the wire, which is down the back, the one under there, comes along here and goes down that way. So they're both going down that way. So it's something down there, but it's got an aftermarket head unit in it. So I would think it's going to be a man-made fault. Now, where does it join? Is it behind the glove box, behind the airbag, behind the stereo? Not sure. So I'm going to put a diagram up, see if it does show us the way the loom goes and where any connectors are. And try and work out what's going on. But I looked yesterday, it didn't show any connectors midpoint. So there's got to be something, but yeah, I don't know. So I'm going to have to get it stripped out even further. But now this is into our next day. So let's get stripped quickly, see what we can find. All right, can you see it? Look at that. Hold on. Not connected. So these are funny little slides. In fact, I'm going to put that back on quickly. We're going to do it live. Click that in. Is that going? Yeah. That's got it. Right, so we've connected that up. This is live. What do we need? Oh, we need the horn switch, which is, it's in the back of his. There we go. Right, I'll show you around. Right, just got to connect that. Goes on there. Right, here we go. Moment of truth. Ah! He's a genius. So, it was man-made. Somebody has touched that. The chance of it, well, I mean, it wouldn't come out. You know, if it's worked before in this owner's possession, either he's done it or somebody else has done it. So, yeah, not an easy one, that. Right, so the diagram, which we got up on All Data, showed a left-hand drive one. And that showed that the wiring was routed differently. So that showed that this loom goes up into the car rear, up behind the dash, along, and then the steering wheel, obviously one comes from here and goes down and meets just behind the dash there. But obviously this one was different. So just a quick recap where we started, what happened to it. So obviously we changed the squib to start with. No, changed the stalks to start with, because that's what the customer wanted. Then we come back down to the relay. So started at the relay. There's a four-way split there, so that will show you exactly what you got going on. Is a horn okay? Is a live okay? Is the power to the control okay? And is the control, which is earthed on this one, switched earth, is that okay? So straight to there. We eliminated 3 circuits were good, 1 wasn't, and that was a control circuit, which was literally this green and brown wire. So we trace it from there up here, all the way along, down to here, all the way along, down behind the headlight, up into the car. Then that one in the car come along here, right the way along behind the dash. And we just knew it disappeared somewhere that way. And the controls out the steering wheel come along, went down to these wires, split, and then went down the front of the dash and headed along that way. So we've noticed that the one in come along down, and it went behind the heater panel, and that's obviously where we've nailed it down to. But as you can see, you know, all this lot stripped out, all that lot stripped out. You can only do it manually. I'll show you what else we've got stripped. So we've got all this lot out, all these panels out, these panels, speedo, glove box, all that lot stripped out, all the top, this has all got to be put back together. This is all stripped. So we're into this for like 6 hours so far, about another hour and a half to put it back together, and all because one slot just not clipped in right. So yeah, let's get it back together, phone the customer and see what he has to say. So there we go, she's all back together, everything's working, job's a carrot. All back together, got all the bottom of the dash in, all the top over there, reset all the airbag lights and everything, and yeah, she's a good one. So that was 7.5 hours, 6 hours. By the time I stripped all that out, put a new stalk on it, because the customer request, then went and done all our testing and stripping each panel off and testing it and that lot. 6 hours to take it apart, work it all the way through, and then an hour and a half to put it back together this morning. So 7.5 hours to fix a horn. People think, oh, why is it so expensive, you know? But obviously you can see that's what happens. So a few years ago, somebody done an article, maybe somebody in the trade will remember it, so who wrote it, but they talk about the difference between electrical diagnosis and mechanical. You go into your normal garage, a lady goes in there, oh yeah, having problems getting my car into gear. The governor comes out, jumps in the car, puts his foot on the clutch, tries to get in gear, sorry love, the clutch is gone, you know. So 2 seconds to diagnose it, and then he'll go 7.5 hours, I'll have all that fixed for you, gearbox out, new one in, done. So literally 2 seconds to diagnose, 7.5 hours to fix. This one, 7.5 hours to diagnose, and as you see, 2 seconds to fix. Pull that out, slide it down, done. So there you go. So yeah, so again, this is what we do. People are quite liking these case studies, so if you do like it, drop a little comment down below. And yeah, we will carry on with them. I don't want to do any sort of how-to videos and this is how you test that, this is how you test this, you know. That's when I first started the channel, I'd always said it's more about the business and that, but if I find something what I think is going to become a, you know, an interesting case study, I'll start recording it and see how we go. So yeah, if you do like it, if you like, you subscribe. I'll leave a link to the rest of the series, and obviously the rest of the garage sort of in and out jobs, they're over in sort of this playlist. See how you go with that, and yeah, let us know what you think. Thanks very much. Ta-da!